Groundbreaking diet or just the next fad? Hi, we're going to talk about intermittent fasting today. I'm Dr. Crockett, and this is Dr. Crocker with Zeal Integrated Health. And really, there's a lot of health benefits with intermittent fasting. You can improve your insulin levels. You can just increase your weight loss ability by doing things like this. You can protect yourself from so many diseases with this. It really creates a situation where the body goes into autophagy, where it starts removing cellular waste and dead cells so that your body can rejuvenate itself. And that just really supports healthy aging. So there's just a lot of science that's coming out on doing something like intermittent fasting. But there's several different types of this. So there's a lot of confusion on it, and we get a lot of questions on this in the office. So I'd like to start with just talking about the types of fasting that are out there.
Yeah, really 3 of them come to mind, honestly. And one of the first ones is only eat 1 meal a day. You say, well, I don't know how I can do that. I'm going to get so hungry. Well,
pretty strict.
It is. So luckily, there's 2 other types. There's one that you're going to eat normally 5 days a week. Then you're going to fast really on the weekends, those 2 days a week. You're only going to eat 500 to 600 calories a day. Really, the most popular one, though, in my opinion, is what they call a 16 to 8. You're going to eat 8 hours a day, and you're going to fast 16 hours a day. So, a lot of times what that includes is you're going to skip breakfast, and you're going to stop eating at 8. Well, sometimes you actually need to change that a little bit, because most people go to bed around 10 o'clock from what we see, and that you want to stop eating 3 hours before you go to bed. So you might have to change that back, where you're going to eat just an hour earlier and do things like that. And so you just have to see which one is going to really benefit you the most for what you want to do.
You bet. There's just not one size that fits everybody.
No.
If there's anything that we know in clinic, it's just everybody's an individual, and there's going to be specific things that you have to do to customize things to you. But I would say first, everyone needs to talk to their doctor about what they need specifically. What are you trying to achieve with changing your dietary plans? I think that's where you got to start, because it's kind of the goals that you're wanting to achieve that dictate the plan. And so that's a good place to start. I would also say there's some of you out there that just don't do good skipping breakfast. If you skip breakfast, you're crabby and grumpy during the day. Your coworkers don't like being around you. So make sure you eat breakfast and start your 8-hour window in the morning, and you'll just kind of shut it down earlier in the day. So it doesn't necessarily have to be 11 to 7 or 12 to 8. Make it work with what you need and what your metabolism's kind of dictating. There's going to be some people that just do better shifting that window to the morning, and so you might look at things like that.
Yeah, there's also what's called rules for fasting. One of the biggest rules out there.
Most people don't like rules.
They don't like rules. They don't like rules at all. But one of the biggest things is that you only want to drink water. And that's a charge word, because you say, well, how in the world do I give up my coffee? If you're just that type of person that I just can't give my coffee up, then, honestly, it's still going to break your fast, but you can do coffee. You're going to want to take your milk and your creamers out and your sugar. Maybe use things like SCT oil or MCT oil to increase the fat content in your coffee to help with your fast. Do things like herbal teas. You want to limit your caffeine intake, honestly, in these type of things that you're going to be doing.
I think a lot of people, some people are drinking 24 ounces, 36 ounces of coffee, and it's just way too much. You really got to dial that back. You really want to be 6 to 8 ounces. The less amount of coffee and caffeine that you can have, obviously, the better you're going to maintain the fast.
Definitely. And if you are, like I said, just make sure that you get enough fat in your coffee to benefit your fats. Well, there's different types of diets out there that actually benefit you in this type of fasting. There's paleo or keto type of diets, and well, what's the difference? Well, if you're going to do something like paleo, you're going to eat more veggies, which is complex carbs. You're not going to eat a lot of fruits. You're going to limit the amount of grains that you do. You're going to eat more lean meats, chicken, turkey, fish, those type of things. You're not going to eat beans and legumes and things of that nature either. Well, if you look at keto, you want to eat a clean keto diet. So you're going to eat a higher fat diet, a lower carb type of diet. That's one of those things you're going to snack on higher fat foods like keto muffins or avocados or fat bombs or things of that nature. Now, really, as I mentioned earlier, with both of these types of diets that will benefit your fasting, you're actually going to limit your fruit the best that you can. And you might only eat 1 to 2 times per day honestly on these things. So once again, it goes back to how is it going to benefit you and how you need to pick which one is best for you.
Yeah, just really trying to minimize the amount of sugar you're taking in
Definitely.
with some of these things. So, and I would say this, whether it's when we look at intermittent fasting, it's an approach to your eating plan, and then the dietary actions that you might add to it, being paleo or keto, those things are a lot of times dictated by what the individual needs.
Yeah.
And so, if somebody's got a high risk of cardiovascular disease and certain genetics, doing a keto diet is not necessarily the right approach with this. We might want to approach it more with a paleo approach with the intermittent fasting. So if you'd like to learn more about intermittent fasting, or you'd like somebody to help you put a plan together for you, call our office and we'll be glad to help with that. Check out some of our other videos and remember to subscribe below.